welcome back to Hammer Time. Today we are doing a deep dive into our group of 5 futures list. It is me and Jake for today. Finished up our Power 4 last week. Now we are on, like I said, to the group of 5, but we're also going to be doing a 12-team mock-up playoff bracket as well with some bold predictions on the side of that. And to close us out, we're going to be breaking down the preseason top 25 AP poll that just released right before we started recording. So we're going to give our reactions in for that. Who've kind of just going to go on the fly. Didn't really do any note taking for that, but obviously we have the graphics to look at in front of us. So just give our basic reactions of maybe who's being overrated there or disrespected in some sort, or who teams that might have been left out. So this is probably the one episode that I've been waiting for quite some time. Group of 5 is always a fun topic that people often overlook in terms of futures list, in terms of playoff hopes, in terms of a lot of things. So I'm ready. We're going to be talking basically American, Sunbelt, Mountain West, MAC, Conference USA. We got all kinds of futures that we're going to go over and then kind of going to go from there. So if you want to start or you want me to start, and we're just going to go by the conference list, and we should be pretty much on par from there.
You have more, so I guess you should go first.
That's true. Okay. I am going to start with American. Now, I've talked about this team in our first episode whenever we did our future list from the beginning. Since then, like I said in every other episode, I've pretty much added in to every future that I've had. I think I have about 7. No, I do not have 7. Yeah, around that number for futures list. But as far as the American goes, my first bet and still was UTSA to make the playoff at 14-1, and had the win total at over 7.5 at -135. Kind of already broke it down a little bit. Not really much else to go over there. Pretty much project them favored in about 10 minimum games. I think a good hedge point that I didn't really look at initially when I placed this bet was the Tulane game. I think that's going to be like your main hedge point in that bet specifically, but I really do like this team. I like this offense. I love Traylor and the staff that he has there, so returning a ton of production as well. So thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I think it's a good. I mean, if you're not going to take Tulane, I think UTSA is probably your next best bet when it comes to winning the conference and or a win total. Just looking at this conference in general, like, I don't expect Navy to be as good as they were last year. I think Army takes a step back. Memphis is super new, lost a ton of production offensively, so they're having to rebuild. And then USF's schedule is just really hard, and also rebuilding like their wide receivers and offensive line and stuff. So I think if you're going to play a American future, I think you're either looking at Tulane or UTSA.
Yeah. My other American team that I'm actually fading, that a lot of people are pretty high on, from what I've seen at least, is Navy. I have their under win total 8.5. I got it for +120 just recently. I think this is a really, really sharp value play. Decently tough schedule. Conference that actually has some good and better offenses this year that Navy's obviously not used to. Last year they kind of got lucky dodging a bit of those, and I think that kind of comes back to bite them this year. Obviously, they're a surprise pick to win the American as their playoff representative. They're one of the higher-end playoff representatives, I should say. I don't want to say most likelies, but Horvath returning is huge. They have a ton of starters returning. I think the only way that the group of 5's auto bid climbs into the top 10 seeds this year is that if there's an unbeaten. They do play Notre Dame. It's a kind of like that's their spotlight matchup almost every year in the years that they've actually been pretty good. And I don't know if a selection committee made like to avoid a rematch by like if they were to get in, but like I said, this is more of a value play for me. I think they're a great team. I think they will be good again, but for +120, given the schedule, I think 8 wins is very, very likely in this case.
Yeah, I like the 8.5. I think last year last year they were kind of lucky. And I don't want to say lucky because they were good, but they got Air Force was a down year. I think Air Force is going to be much improved this year.
Yeah.
Obviously, you have the Notre Dame game. South Florida is the week after Notre Dame. So they travel to South Bend and then have to play South Florida the week after. That's not super easy. They got to go at Memphis before the Army game, which I know the Army game is 2 weeks after, but still have to travel to Memphis. And then you have Rice at home, your Florida Atlantic at home, at North Texas. Like there's games that are losable, and I think if you're getting plus money at 8.5, I'd take under 8.5. There's a hedge there, especially with you could even hedge it with Army at the end of the year if they're at 3 losses.
Absolutely. And I do think Army regresses this year, and I did have a lean on their win total, but I didn't get enough that I do there. But
I do too, but that Army-Navy game is, I don't feel like the favorite ever wins that game. So
it's so pivotal. Yeah, it's just not worth it for me. But that's all of my American futures bets. I know you might have a couple, so I'll let you take reins.
I actually don't have anything. I think the books. I think the books have this conference mapped out pretty well. Like early on, I wanted to look at like a South Florida over, and I didn't like the number. Originally, I did have Memphis to win the conference, but after looking at it some more, I don't like that bet necessarily. I don't love the schedule, and with them having to replace their 5-year starter at QB and some weapons around him, I just didn't like that. I think like a UAB under could be worth it. A Charlotte under could be worth it. I think they're 2 pretty bad teams, but I don't have a strong lean in the American this year. I think it's one of those conferences this year where I think the favorite or one of the top 3 wins it. So
it's fair. You have Conference USA or Sunbelt?
I have Sunbelt.
Okay, we'll do the Sunbelt then. I do have about 5 in this conference alone. Did a lot of digging within the last week or so with a lot of these numbers that kind of dropped after everybody getting so active in the futures markets the few weeks before the season. That's kind of when they start to kind of zigzag a bit. So I'll start with my favorite one. I know this is a team that we've talked about in the server and the Discord a lot. I know this is a team that we've talked about in our Power 4 breakdowns because one of them is a Power 4 opponent that they get early on. But this is James Madison. I have their over 7.5 win total and them to win the Sunbelt at plus 280. I think this team is without a doubt winning their division in the East. I think it's an incredibly favorable schedule. They did lose a good amount of some defensive guys, but I think luckily returning the majority of their key roles, Sluka should be a phenom in this conference, especially with the amount of below average defenses that are in there. So I think they absolutely shred. I know they have, I believe it's Louisville. Is it week 2 or 3? Like we were talking about in the ACC preview.
Hold on.
But I forget which game that is. I'm pretty sure it's Louisville though. But
they do play Louisville. I just don't remember what week.
Yeah, I'm gonna be looking to take JMU spread in that one, but
it's week 2.
We've already discussed. So yeah, really like this team. Love where they're at. I think they're in a great spot. Potential playoff threat, definitely. I think the value's there if you are looking for it. I don't have it personally. I think there's some better options out there, but I do like the number at 7.5 a lot.
Agreed. Also have them to win the Sun Belt. So we're there. We're there. The same there. Jesus. I got them at plus 325. I don't have their over win total. Just seemed redundant to me. I think if they're winning the Sun Belt, they're probably going over 7.5. So I didn't take that, and I think it was like minus 140 or something the last time I looked at it. So I didn't feel like any juice on that. But I think my favorite bet of this conference, other than JMU, is South Alabama to win the West. I think.
Sleepy team this year for sure.
Well, yeah, for sure. They're tied for 3rd in odds to win the Sun Belt. So I like their conference schedule. They're gonna lose probably. They play Tulane week 2. They're probably losing that game, even though it is at home. and then they travel to Auburn in week 3. But I really like the conference schedule. Coastal at home with a down year from Coastal more than likely. They have a out of conference game against North Texas. Then they've got Troy, which is on the road, but then they play Arkansas State at home, Georgia State, who's terrible. They should beat them by 30. And then ULL at home, which is they're going to be one of their tougher games. I like getting it at home. ULM is not going to be good this year. They get Southern Miss at home, and then they have Texas State on the road. So I think it is very possible this team could have 1 or 2 losses in conference, and I think it could get them to the championship in the Sunbelt. I also have their over-win total at 6.5, as well as them winning the West. So I'm big on South Alabama this year.
I think that's your championship game right there, if anything.
I think it's the most likely one. I think if it's not, I mean, it's like a 3-team race really for the West with Texas State, South Alabama, and ULL. So getting ULL, later in the season at home, I really like, and then it'll come down to that Texas State game probably at the end of the year, that's a perfect hedge opportunity if you can use it.
Absolutely. One of the key non-con games for JMU, like I was mentioning before, is Liberty. I think that game is a pivotal and playoff implication game, which I'll go into them later on. I do have a bet for them, but yeah, that's JMU for me, and it's South Alabama for you. I'll go on to my next one, and that is one of the worst teams in the conference this year. At least I think that it's going to be, if not the worst. That is none other than the Chanticleers. I am incredibly low on Coastal this year. I have them under 5.5. I project I'm at 4.2 on mine, is what I project in terms of wins. I have the minus 135. There's zero chance that this team makes a bowl game. I have them projected favorites in 5 of those games. 2 of those 5 are which by 3.5 or less on my end. I think it's just a brutal schedule. I think November is absolute hell for this team. They don't have a D-line. They don't have a secondary. Their offense has way too many questions in just about every single level. And 6 wins is just not on my radar with this team. And for minus 135, I think that's a hammer spot.
Yeah, I like that. I think Coastal, it's going to be weird in a Sunbelt league not having Coastal and App State be good.
Very different.
Both being probably at best just 6-6 bowl teams.
Yep.
It's going to be weird after the past, decade?
I'd say so. Close.
Chadwell and then App State. I mean, App State's been good for feels like 15 years. So yeah.
Years. Yeah, literally.
That will be weird. My next one is fading the winners of the Sunbelt last year in Marshall. Under their win total, I think it's 4.5. This team is going to be terrible this year. They hire Tony Gibson out of Is it NC State?
Yes.
NC State. Mm-hmm. And, hired him. He's a great defensive coach, like one of the best defensive coordinators that the ACC's seen in a while. Outside of like Venables. But this team was absolutely raided by the transfer portal with Charles Huff leaving Marshall and going to Southern Miss and taking the entire team with him. Also, there's been a bunch of weird stuff going on with the athletic department. Like, that seems like Marshall just doesn't really care about football right now. And I think that leads to the on-field results as well. I don't see this team winning more than like 2 Sunbelt games, maybe. This is just going to be a really bad team. There's way too many questions. I think offensively they're going to really struggle. And I think under 4.5 feels pretty good.
Yeah. I definitely don't hate that. I looked into it. I think I'm just too big of a Tony Gibson fan to fade him in his first year there.
Yeah. He's great.
Like you were saying, great coach. We went over in the ACC preview as well of how great his defenses have been at NC State, but it just feels like a weird situation within the program right now. So I don't hate the idea of it at all. I also like the idea of fading previous champions next year, because regression years in these group of fives are very, very common, I think, is what we've seen a lot.
Usually all senior led and stuff as well, normally.
Right. My next one is fading a team that we've just pretty much talked about, as much as it kind of pains me, and that is App State. I have their under 5.5. Great price on this. I have it at plus 130. I just think that there's way too many key losses here on both sides of the ball. I think you got a new coach coming in. Defense is going to be worse than Coastal's, if not probably the same. I think it's a decently tough schedule, and yeah, same thing as Coastal. I just can't see this team getting 6 wins. I don't think the schedule is a very good enough draw. They have a lot of tough road trips, and yeah.
I'm not gonna steal the Southern Miss one. I'll let you do it.
Oh, you're fine.
I got it from you.
Did you?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Southern Miss.
Yeah, that's basically it. Yeah.
It's to win the Sunbelt, right?
I have them to win the Sunbelt at was it 20-1 or is it 18-1?
I got 18-1. I don't remember what you got.
I think I got 18 because it was like right about the same time. Yeah. Southern Miss, I have the overwin total 4.5. I got this before I placed to win the conference. I believe this is at 5.5 now. I still like it at 5.5, honestly. But yeah, to win the belt, they have a very, very, very solid defense up front. Huff is bringing in his own staff to pretty much run that unit as a whole, and historically, he's had some very exciting offenses. Pretty much gambling on your swing games over App State. Jacksonville State, I think, is going to be a tough one, but it's a very under the radar type of team that can make a bowl game and as well as make some noise in their division in terms of conference play. I do like that. I like that bet a lot for the price that it's at. So,
yeah, I mean, piggybacking on it, you get App State at home. You travel to La Tech. La Tech's middle of the pack this year. I think it could go either way. You get Jacksonville State at home. I think that's big. Tough game at Georgia Southern on a Thursday, but you're coming off a bye. So that'll be a good rest game. I think Georgia Southern is not on a bye that week. I think they have to travel before that game. So I think that's big. You do play ULL on the road. So that's tough. But then you get ULM. Should be a very winnable game. Arkansas State on the road. I think Southern Miss's offense is going to be perfect to take on Arkansas State. All they got to do is be able to throw the ball. Arkansas State secondary is probably the worst in the country this year. So I think Southern Miss can be able to throw it all over them. And Southern Miss's secondary is pretty good. That's really all you have to do to stop Arkansas State's offense. They don't run the ball well. They really just like to air it out. And then you get Texas State at home, which I think is big. And then you travel to South Alabama, and then you get Troy at home. So I 100% think there's 6 games at least for this team. And then, I mean, I think there's an outside shot with who you play that you could. I mean, if you're 7-5 and 3 of those losses are in conference, I think it's possible to at least make it.
Right. I mean, I projected at 5.7. So I mean, yeah, like I feel like this was like a no-brainer. To take a win total, and then to win the conference was just kind of like a side piece.
I mean, 1800
in terms of price. High. Yeah, it's unbelievably high. When you have an offense like that, it's any time I have an offense like that with as bad as these Sunbelt defenses can be in the schedule that they've got, I think it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'm guessing them being in the West just makes it. Odds makers made it really high.
Which I understand.
They got half their roster from Marshall, who just won the conference, and then
exactly
also got the coach. I don't see how you could have priced it this high. I mean, it was at 4,000 at one point.
I missed out on that.
Oh yeah, we missed the steam for sure.
But I mean, yeah, I guess I'll still take 18 all day. I don't even know what it is right now, but it might still be the same.
It's around 15 to 18.
Okay,
still. I wouldn't go below 1,300, but if you can get an 1,800, 100%.
It's out there for sure. You hit on it quite a bit. a little bit, I should say. But that my next team is Arkansas State. With me backing Southern Miss, I think fading Arkansas State is kind of like a gimme in that standpoint. I think you kind of are one way or the other at that point, given the schedule for both of these guys. I have their under 5.5 win total for -150. A little bit of juice there, but I do like it still right there. I think this is a big time regression season, personally. I just don't think the schedule's favorable at all. Similar to these 3 or 4 teams that I've faded, I just don't see a bowl game. I don't see 6 wins. They were pretty lucky in majority of their games last season in terms of close game fortune rankings from what I looked at. Not high on the defense in the slightest, and I'm not really that big of a fan of Jalen Raynor, although him returning is really good for the offense. I can't buy into it.
You're fading Butch Jones? How dare you?
I'm so sorry.
I mean, I fade him all the time. Yeah, I mean, if they're gonna go 2-2 out of conference, I mean, Southeast Missouri's a win, Arkansas's a loss, Iowa State's a loss, and then they play Kennesaw State. I think that's a win. So you're 2-2 out of 2-2 out of conference. You got to pick up 4 Sunbelt wins. You got Texas State. You got South Alabama on the road. Troy on the road. You do get Southern Miss at home. You do get ULL at home, but then you travel to App State to end the year. I think there's just a lot of toss-up games. I think when you're a one-dimensional team, I mean, their wide receivers, dude, I think it's Corey Rucker.
Yeah.
He's already set the record for the most yards as a Arkansas State wide receiver. So that dude's really good. He'll probably get drafted this year, but when he's the only guy you have, it's hard not to fade a team to attempt to get to a bowl game. They're a one-side team, and even that they're just a one-trick pony.
Right, I agree. That's all of my Sunbelt ones. I don't know if you have any more or anything to add. But I will move on to next group of 5, which is the MAC. This one, I have a good amount in as well. I think I have 5 here. So I'll start with one of my favorites. I got this one from Colin Wilson at Action. A lot of you know who that is. I like a lot of his stuff and their show on BBOC. I was listening to the other one. They just did one group of 5 dive in as well pretty recently. And I got Akron under 4.5 win total from them, -150. I didn't realize how much drama that this team had. I knew that the news kind of came out that they were ineligible for postseason play, but I didn't really know or realize how much they're reducing practices to that for academic reasons, apparently. Yeah, I didn't know about that part. I only knew about the ineligibility. Not to mention, to add on top of those 2 things, which is already bad enough as is, their defense is pretty much cleaned house. They lose their best 2 players on the offensive side, and they could, from what I was looking at the schedule, there's a very solid chance that this team pretty much starts out 0-4, potentially 0-5.
Oh, they're going to be terrible.
I just, like I said, similar to the Sunbelt ones, I see 0% chance of this team hitting 5 to 6 wins. It's not there for me. So I think that's one of the easier MAC bets that I have. I'm not sure what that's at now, but definitely do still like that one if you have it.
I only have 1, so this is my 1.
Go for it.
Buffalo to win the MAC.
Yes, sir.
Looks like you could get some plus 450s out there. They're right now 3rd to win the MAC. I love Pete Lembo. He's such a good coach. He's their head coach. Basically, he's going to play defense really, really well, and they are going to play special teams really well. You're going to see no mistakes from Buffalo on the defense side of the ball or on special teams. They have one of the best special team units in the country. Last year, did they win 8? I think it was 8 or 9 wins.
It was 8-4, 9-4, something like that.
Yeah, 8-4, won their bowl game. They do lose their quarterback, Ogbonna, but I really like this schedule. So Buffalo's schedule, I actually think, is decently easy this year. I think they've got some tough games, especially towards the end of the year, but they're at Minnesota in the first week of the season, which I think is a loss, but that doesn't matter towards the MAC. Obviously, if for them winning the MAC. Kent State is their first MAC game, I think, which worst team in the league. Then have 2 more out of conference games. They get Eastern Michigan at home, at UMass, who's not going to be very good this year. They get Akron. So you're playing 3 of the bottom 4 teams, I think, in the conference. Yep. At Bowling Green, I think that's an easy road game. Especially it's on a Saturday. There's a good amount of rest through these games. And then they get a bye week. Then they go at Central Michigan, who Central Michigan's middle of the pack MAC team this year, but they get a whole week off. So I like that. Then they'll get Miami of Ohio at home, and they'll get Ohio at home. So their 2 toughest games of the year in the MAC are both at home. One's Wednesday, November 19th, and then the next one is Friday, November 28th. So they get a week off, or not a week off, but they get a week to play Miami of Ohio, and then they get 9 days. So I think if you could split those last 2 games and have 1 loss, I think you can get in. And then
I think they're definitely making the championship without a doubt. It's just a matter of getting like a money line ticket whenever they get there. But I like the value a ton.
Yeah, and I guess it'll depend on how Toledo plays, because that's who I'm assuming they'll be playing in the MAC championship.
Right.
If Toledo's got a couple losses, we could see a pretty close spread, pretty close spread for that game.
I agree. Yeah, I'm not going to really hit on much, obviously. I do have their over 7.5 win total at -130, and also to win the MAC. But yeah, I guess the defense is amazing. It's absolute nails. I mean, they have all the linebackers in the world. Like you were mentioning, the secondary returns with a ton more experience. The guy who they got, I don't know if you mentioned or not. Sorry, I kind of zoned out for a minute. I'm not gonna lie, but similar to Agbana, very carbon copy-esque quarterback. Taquan Roberson from Kansas State. Love the guy. Oh, yeah. Really big on him, but I have them projected favorites in their first 6. Yeah, and then, like I said, if you win 1 or 2 of those Miami games or Ohio games, I think you're expecting a championship berth really soon after that. So, very winnable. Yeah, like I said, this is one of my favorite bets, my future bets, period, this year. I love this team so much. Team that I'm pretty much going opposite on, I guess, is OU. So it's Ohio under 7.5. Have that -145. I got absolutely toasted by this team last year. I bet their under win total. I hated all the new guys that they had on the block, and then all of a sudden they come and win the MAC. So, yeah, I don't know. This year is different, though, in my opinion. They have coaching changes around, an incredible non-conference schedule. I think they could easily start the season 0-3.
They will start the season 0-3.
Yeah, that's it. I don't trust the offense at all. They're to fill those kind of shoes and the gaps within those D2 transfers and FCS transfers. I don't see it.
What's the win total?
7.5.
So I have to go 8-4.
Yep.
Ooh.
Correct.
Yeah, I mean that's tough.
Yep. MAC standards, I don't really think that they're going to be that bad in terms of conference play or in terms of conference numbers and rankings, whatever. But I just think it's going to depend on how well those guys kind of gel together, because it's practically a new team again. I just think there's a massive line of regression, similar to we were talking about with who are we talking about with the repeat Group of 5 champion? Yes, sorry. Yeah, it's just I like the idea of fading past champions, so that's basically one of my angles on this as well. But yeah, swing games, they play Miami. Obviously, they're one of their bigger games of the year, and then like we were mentioning it before, they play Buffalo as well. So similar schedules all around. I just think it's brutal, to be honest with you. But with me having Buffalo, I think it only makes sense to fade OU as well.
Yeah, I like it. They also get NIU and Bowling Green, who are both at least top half of the conference. They are both at home, but yeah,
For top
at
half, but yeah, I don't know about those. They're weird. They're very weird this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think NIU could still be really good.
Right.
Like, I think their coach is good, but you get it at home. But like at Buffalo is probably the game you're looking at with that
Yep.
8-4, 9-3. I mean, yeah, that's tough because you're basically banking on them to go have one loss or go undefeated in the MAC, which doesn't happen super often. I feel like
Right.
the MAC is the conference where the team is 7-5 winning the conference.
Yeah. Toledo's probably going to be favored by 17 against Ball State maybe this year, something like that, and then they're going to lose at home to them. I don't. It's just like a guarantee that happens in the conference every year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know much there. I have two more. I have one of my other favorite ones. This one was not very common from what I've seen, but I think you were somewhat high on them. I forget. We kind of talked about it a little bit. I have the Chips. Central Michigan over 5.5 for plus 120. I have this team making a bowl game. I think their rebuild phase here turns out better than expected. They have a bunch of key returnees, and then the only thing holding them back, obviously, is the schedule. But the offense is definitely going to improve. It's hard to kind of be as bad as they were last year, and I think the defense in this case, in this season, they've got the tools to be a top 5 unit in the conference. But yeah, I guess similar to last year. I don't want to say similar to last year because they're decently meh, but plus 120. I like the returning production. I'll take that value kind of all day to make a bowl. So, and their schedule is not the worst in the world, but it's still a decently tougher MAC schedule.
I mean they're gonna go 1-3 out of conference for sure. I mean, at San Jose State, at Pitt, at Michigan, those are 3 losses.
Right.
But get Akron, get UMass, get Kent State, get Eastern Michigan. Your toughest road game is at Bowling Green or at Western Michigan. So that's not a bad road schedule. And then you get Buffalo and Toledo at home. I think you're looking best case scenario is probably 6-6.
That's what I'm hoping for at least. But yeah, I think it's very doable.
But I mean, there's plenty of hedge opportunities there. I'm gonna bet that like those. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely going to be some ability, whether it's your later games with Buffalo or Toledo. Just depends on how high of a favorite those teams are going to be, but I don't think it should be a ton.
Right.
Maybe in your 10-ish range, but still.
Right. I agree. This is my last MAC conference bet or future bet, and that is Toledo. This is a team that we've pretty much talked about as well on the server, as well as in this Power 4 preview, because they play Kentucky as one of our more pivotal spread games here. I have them over 8.5 wins at minus 115 and to make the college football playoff at 20-1. Tons of high expectations for this team. Non-conference is a fun early test. They get arguably the most favorable conference schedule of all time. I don't really want to say their most difficult, but their most difficult game in terms of conference play is Miami, Ohio. That's very later in the year. Even then, undefeated in conference play isn't a hot take at all. I don't think, even though that we pretty much talked about they always managed to drop that one game, I think it's incredibly doable this year. And not to mention, I'm one of the biggest fans of Jason Candle. I think he's a phenomenal coach, and for some reason that he just keeps his team in the conversation year in, year out in terms of MAC competition. So I'm never going to be counting this team out. I just think that 9-3 is the most likely. I can't really see it being 8-4. Obviously, that swing game being Miami. If they win the games that they should and not drop the games that they shouldn't, I forget who they lost to last year at home. They're favored by almost 20, though.
Akron.
Was it Akron? Okay.
Well, that was on the road.
Oh, okay. Either way, still.
They didn't. The only game they lost at home last year was Ohio.
Right. Yeah, again, if they win the games they should be fine. Should be the easiest cash ever. I think 8-4 is just not I don't think that can happen. There's no way. Hopefully.
I mean, it can definitely happen.
Hopefully.
I mean, they lose to Kentucky, lose to Western Kentucky, lose to Washington State, and then drop a game they shouldn't. 8-4 is possible.
If they, I know it's a lot of people have it. I'm not saying that it's actually going to happen because I don't have it by any means. If for whatever reason they manage to pull off that Kentucky upset, though, I don't know.
No. I'll take them to cover. I ain't taking them to win.
I said I don't really hate the spread. Like, I'm not taking it by any means. I don't want any part of that. But,
I don't want to touch it if it's a 10. I think it's too low.
Right. Yeah.
Picking a MAC team to win 9 or 10 games is tough.
It is. It really is.
That scares me, especially like the Miami of Ohio games on the road. They showed last year they're not great on the road. Bowling Green's on the road, Western Michigan on the road, Central Michigan on the road. Like those aren't your bottom barrel MAC teams. I definitely there's a pathway to 9-3. I definitely think there's even a pathway to 10-2 if they can beat Western Kentucky,
right?
Which is possible. Like they're probably favored in that game or it's close. I can't take a MAC team to win double digit games. There's no way.
I wouldn't take them to win 10, but I think 9. I would do 9.
Yeah. Once again, though, hedge opportunities there, especially if they're at 3 losses going into that Miami of Ohio game. There's your hedge. Easily.
Very well. Then we only have one more left. Then that's Mountain West, right? I know we have a couple here.
Have we done 4?
Yes, I think so.
We didn't do Conference USA.
We didn't do Conference USA yet. Not bad. I have 1 in that one. I think you have a couple more in that.
I have 1.
Okay. I'll go into that one then, since we each have 1, because Mountain West I have a bit. I'll make it quick. Liberty to make the playoff, plus 950. This one is kind of all over the place because I know some people you're either pretty much in one of the top 2 teams in terms of conference play. They're a strong, heavy favorite to win the conference already. I like a lot of the win totals in this conference. Sam Houston State's one that I've been eyeing on a couple times there. I know FIU is in there. There's a couple more that I was leaning towards, but I didn't quite get what I wanted, so I kind of backed off. In this case, I expected their Liberty's defense to see a ton of improvement. I just think that last year's was not the standard at all. I love the non-conference game against JMU, like I was going over earlier. The tools are there. I think they just need to simply do their job, not lose to Kennesaw State this year, or win against UMass by a single point like last year. I think if they are dominant in their non-conference games, I think they should have no problem getting into their conference championship game. Matter of fact, if depending on how good they look in those games, playoff berth might be in the picture. I think this is one of the more likely teams that we see in the playoffs, to be honest with you. That's me.
No. I don't think they beat JMU, so I don't think they're making the playoff. Even if they were to beat JMU, their schedule is last in the country. I just don't. There's no way that if they go 13-0, I don't care. I don't think they crack the top 25. Oh my
God.
They're not. They won't have good wins. I think that's the problem.
No, but yeah.
And they're not even playing good teams. At least with Boise, we knew that they at least put up fights against Oregon last year. When Cincinnati played, they were beating good teams.
Right.
You look at the group of 5 teams that have made it so far, which is those 2. Liberty plays JMU, and then the worst. They play, no offense to Conference USA, but it's the worst conference in college football with just how bad the teams are.
I'd say so, yeah.
I just think it'd be really hard to justify putting in a 13-0 Liberty that didn't beat anybody other than potentially JMU when you're going to have potentially teams like JMU or Boise or UNLV or Toledo or Buffalo. these teams that may go 11-1 or 10-2, who actually play good teams, like what if Toledo beats Kentucky and then it beats Western Kentucky and then maybe they drop one of their MAC games? I think they should get in over 13 at Liberty. I just have a hard time because all the committee talks about is the strength of schedule stuff. So I think at some point, like, that's got to show for something. We'll see.
I hope so.
My first pushback would be I don't think they beat JMU.
It's an early game. That's why I like it a lot, though. Definitely.
I think it's a great game.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
100%.
It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I agree. I just think, Liberty losing Caden Salter, I feel like
it's big.
Pretty tough. He's pretty good.
Big.
He was pretty good. He was basically their team last year. When he was bad, they were bad. So
right.
When he was good, they were good. So we'll see. Jamie Chadwell's a great coach. That's a hard one for me, just with the schedule. But I do get it. I understand, especially if they were to go undefeated, it'd be hard not to. I just hope I hope that we don't do that.
For 950, given their schedule, I just thought it was.
Oh yeah.
I think it's I don't want to say it's a no-brainer because obviously we've seen what the committee does with this strength of schedule BS that they always talk about, but
they're going to get a ton of pushback if they go 13-0 and play absolutely nobody.
It's awful. The schedule's terrible.
The committee's going to get screamed at, especially if
they should.
If Boise goes 11-1 and their only loss is to Notre Dame on the road, and you put a 13-0 Liberty in over them, that's insane.
But it's sad that I could almost see it.
Yeah, that's true. And we'll get to it later probably, but they're ranked pretty high.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'll get away.
Did you have one? I think you had one.
Yeah.
USA.
MTSU over 4.5 wins.
Oh yeah.
Alumni.
Big Blue Raider alumni.
Go Blue Raiders. They had a really bad year last year. The Middle Tennessee did. Not really bad. They just weren't very good. But Derek Mason is the coach there, if you guys didn't know, former Vandy coach, who was terrible at Vandy, but besides the point. Their defense is going to be pretty good. They've got a lot of their interior is good defensively. I think the lines of scrimmage are going to be a lot better than they were last year. And I really like the quarterback, Nicholas Vadiato. He could have portaled and left and gone to a bigger school because he was basically like their best player the entire year. He stayed, and I like the schedule, to be honest. Austin Peay is a win, playing an FCS team week 1. They're at Wisconsin, at Nevada. Probably both losses. They get Marshall at home. They're at Kennesaw State, Missouri State at home, at Delaware. I think you're already at 5. Right there. But then you keep going. Jacksonville State at home. We have no idea what Jacksonville State's going to be this year. With the transfers, we have no idea. FIU at home. Then you have the Western Kentucky game on the road. Sam Houston at home, at New Mexico State. I just think there's too many bad teams for them not to get the 5. I think this team will be improved. I'm not saying that they're going to go 8-4 or anything, but I think a bowl game is very possible. For this team.
Yeah.
I think 6-6 is super likely because Derek Mason's been an SEC head coach. I think he knows. He finally got a year into their system. They recruited well. They even took jerseys away so they could give their players more money not to leave. Did you hear about that? I'm sure you didn't.
I don't think so.
They had alternate uniforms and they sold them for $2 million, like all the jerseys, and sold them for $2 million and are going to just basic home and away, and that's it. And then they use that money to give their offensive line NIL deals. So Derek Mason's he's giving the players money.
Get after it, dude. Yeah, why not? You gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. Not really much in Conference USA. There's not really much to bet on other than some pretty bad win totals, in my opinion. But
I think if you were going to do a long shot, I like Western Kentucky.
That'd be the only other option. Which Dylan does have it, but he's not with us to break it down. But like I said, value play, whatever. Yep. Mountain West. This is highly tooted up conferences, I think. I'll start with mine. I kind of go from the bottom up. I don't want to kind of go right off the bat into like my big one, I guess. One of my favorite ones of this conference, though, is San Diego State over 4.5 wins at -130. I love this offense. I always love this offense. they always manage to just put up numbers. Really, really good returning production on the defensive side as well as the offensive side, but they were just piss poor last year. I think the win total definitely will rely on your 50-50 games. I know they get NIU, they get Wyoming, Hawaii, Nevada, and Colorado State. They get Cal at home. I really don't think that it's that out of reach for them to win. Come on.
No.
Come on.
No. Cal's still a good team.
I hate them this year. I'm faded them too.
You can hate them all you want. They're still good. They're still a lower level ACC team.
Not a bowl winning ACC team.
Sure, but a potential non-bowl winning Mountain West team's not beating Cal. No. I'll look up the point spread right now.
Fine. When is that game? Is that a week? Is that week 1?
No. Cal plays like Oregon State or something. I don't know when the game is.
I thought I had it recently, or I thought I looked at it. Yeah, Cal plays Oregon State week 1, which they are also dogs in.
Yeah, I'm taking Cal.
And then they don't go to San Diego State until week 4. Okay, but that is a night game, which makes it even better. Oh, dude, come on! Yeah, that's pure spot right there.
Pure spot of what? Who's Cal play?
It's just a spot bet. I love
Is it at
spot.
San Diego State?
Yeah.
They'd be 12-point dogs.
Yeah, I'm taking that. Yeah.
No, you said they were going to win.
I do. I think that's a possibility, yes.
No. Who's Cal?
But I'll be taking the spread either way.
I mean, sure, I'd take the over.
Probably. Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take every San Diego State over this year if I could.
They played Minnesota at home the week before.
Yeah. It's a great spot. Yeah, San Diego State over 4.5 wins. Potential bowl eligibility there. I definitely see 5 though. That's for sure.
I
don't know if you hate
advocate. That. No,
yeah.
I have it.
Okay.
That's
okay. Okay.
I just don't think they beat Cal, but I do think they win 5 games.
That's fair then.
I think they can get to a bowl.
Yeah.
Their conference is just hard.
It is, but I'll take the chances. My next one is going to be probably, dude, I love all these Mountain West bets. I'm so, this is easily my favorite conference. There's a solid chance that go undefeated in this conference on the futures, that'd be amazing. I have Colorado State under 6.5. This team is going to be bad with all caps. Jay Norvell, I love you. You're a fun coach, but this is just a brutal schedule. They have a really, really, really bad offense, a questionable defense. They don't have any depth. They have no experience. I genuinely don't see a bowl game, honestly. I think 5 is very, very doable, but at the very least, 6-6 I'll take. But 5 and 7 is definitely a high possibility. I project this team at 5.4. 5.4. So that kind of, once I looked at that, it was kind of like a no-brainer for me on my end.
I had it before you, so yeah.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's how I got the 138 number.
True, because I took a ton of juice. Yeah. I remember you talking about this.
Yeah, I think there's 5 games that they will lose already on the schedule. You've got Washington on the road, I think UTSA coming to town. I think UTSA is going to win that game. Washington State at home. I think Washington State is a better team than Colorado State. And then UNLV and Boise. I think those are 5 losses. You still have to play Air Force, San Diego State, Hawaii, and Fresno State. All pretty decent Mountain West teams. It's just odds are you lose one of those. And I think best case scenario is 6. I would lean slightly more towards 5, but I think 6 is possible. He lost so much from last year. Like, losing Torrey Horton. I mean, they were winning games last year that they had no business being in, but now that you lose Torrey Horton, the wide receiver, you lose your running backs, and the offense already wasn't super good to begin with, so I definitely think this is kind of a retooling year.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm sorry, I just can't get to a bowl game with that team either, similar to a lot of these other ones. Next one is, God, another one of my favorites. I can't. I think you have this one too, but I think you put me on this, actually. This is San Jose State to win the Mountain West.
Oh, I didn't actually pull the trigger on that.
No? Oh, dang. Did you have the win total?
Mm-mm.
Wow, okay.
But I do love the team. I didn't like the number. I
get it. It's hard. It was hard to get to. 8's a lot. In this case, I do have them to win the conference as well as over 7.5. It's at plus 114. But yeah, we were talking about this one off camera, obviously, and stuff like that. But this is one of the most fun passing attacks in the conference, if not the best, honestly. The run game kind of varies. Have some key O-line departures there, but they're very quick tempo. They're very fast. They're very athletic. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I don't really think they lack in any of the 3 levels, honestly. I would expect a top 3 to 5 unit in the conference. They dodge Boise State. They dodge UNLV. I think this is like a team that's like Colorado State last year. Colorado State last season, they went 6-1 when they played absolutely 0. I think this is pretty much the same type of team, same type of vibe. Depending on how they play in conference play, without the 2 best teams being Boise and UNLV, I think they could make the conference game with ease. And then at that point, San Jose versus UNLV, San Jose versus Boise, it's one of those 2. Like it's an easy hedge, I think, honestly. And then, yeah, like I said, over 7.5, I think is incredibly doable for the price that it is right now.
Yeah, I like the over 7.5. I think that's I might have to put that. What's the number? What's the juice on it?
I have plus 114 from what I got. I don't know what it is right now.
I like that. I mean, I think your only true loss on the schedule right now is probably, obviously is Texas. They do travel to Texas, but
probably
Central Michigan at home, Idaho at home, at Stanford. I think they beat them last year. I think they could beat them this year. New Mexico, Wyoming, Utah State, Hawaii, Air Force, Nevada, San Diego State, Fresno State. Yep. I mean, they avoid the top 3 or just the top 2?
I believe they're just
third,
the top 2. I believe they are third, though. Yeah.
Yeah, I like over 7.5. That might be a play I put in here in a minute.
From what I'm looking at, I have them minus 105 to even money on a majority of the books.
Yeah.
Which I still like that. I still like that price a ton.
Getting plus money is nice.
That was recent too. I can't believe I honestly had it still there, but we'll take it naturally. My last ones, it's kind of like a combo ordeal. I did this one last year, and this is Boise State to win the Mountain West. But then I also bet on UNLV to make the playoff.
You did do this last year.
Yeah. And it worked pretty much for the most part. I mean, I I don't want to say I broke even because I technically made profit. It depends on like unit management wise, on like how like you kind of gauge it. This year's a little bit different because the odds are a little bit more juiced in terms of Boise winning the conference. I have them at minus 150, which I don't necessarily admire too much compared to last year, but I'll take it. But UNLV's to make the playoff is 18-1 right now, which is, I love that number. Yeah, they were minus 125 to win the Mountain West last season. And then UNLV last year to make the playoff was at 40-1. In a way, it makes me feel like it's a guaranteed win because they play every year, and they've been in the conference championship against each other for past 2 years now. So yes. I think unless if both teams just absolutely mess it all up and none of them make the conference championship game, I love Saluka. I like Boise as a team again this year. I think obviously there's some changes there, but I didn't really feel confident enough in terms of like a win total. But yeah, I don't know. I think
Saluka's
18.
Not there.
Not Saluka. Sorry. Borgie.
Oh yeah, that's right. They have two quarterbacks. There's another one too.
Haj Malik, Borgie. There's one more, isn't there?
Yeah, there is. There's a third.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't necessarily. I know a lot of people aren't necessarily going to like the theory or the strategy there, which I kind of understand. Yeah. But it's kind of. It feels like I don't want to feel it's like a given. But the most likely to win the conference and the most likely to enter the playoff in terms of Group of 5 play versus fading the team that they're most likely to play, essentially, is the way I see it.
Yeah, and I mean, it gets you basically a future on all three of the top three teams. So that does make sense. If you weren't doing the San Jose State to win the conference, I'd be interested in that.
Yeah.
Because I personally am not a fan of UNLV this year. I just don't think I don't like Dan Mullen. I don't know what the hell they're doing over there. It's kind of freaking me out. It scares me that he was not coaching for 3 years and then just gets to go to Las Vegas. Like, I don't know. I like Dan Pierce so much, and I liked the way they did their offense, and now you have to go to Alex Orji. It's just kind of scary. But I think it's the team that's more likely. If you're asking me who I'd rather have, UNLV or San Jose State, I'd probably take UNLV.
Right.
But my last one is Hawaii under 5.5. That is at plus 116. So basically, we're just banking on them not to get to a bowl game. I'm doing this because I also have Stanford week 0. So I'm banking. I think they're going to lose to Stanford. I know we're going to go head-to-head on that because I'm pretty sure you already put in for Hawaii. But I'm pretty sure you did.
I think I did.
But they play Stanford at home week 0. We don't know what Stanford is. I'm still going to bank on them being better than Hawaii, but it is possible that they lose that game or that Hawaii wins that game.
I don't have that, actually.
Oh, cool. They go at Arizona the next week. I do think Arizona's going to beat Hawaii, even though they're not going to be very good. And then just some of these games, like Sam Houston at home, Fresno State at home, on the road at Air Force, who I think's improved this year. Utah State at home, at Colorado State. As much as we don't like Colorado State, I think Colorado State's better than Hawaii. At San Jose State, San Diego State, at UNLV, Wyoming at home. I just think this is a 5-win team. They were really disappointing last year. I don't think they're just going to be leaps and bounds better than they were last year. They're having trouble recruiting. I think the Mountain West this year is going to be really weird because I feel like it's like Boise and then UNLV, or really I think it's Boise, a big gap, UNLV, San Jose State, and then another big gap, and then it's all the rest of them. So some teams are going to have to go 5-7, and I just think with their road games, I think 5-7 is more likely.
Right.
But I'm good on Mountain West.
I like it. There's a couple others in there that I kind of leaned on as well. Hawaii being one of them, but didn't quite get there, but I agree. I don't really see it being a bowl team or a bowl game team.
I
But
don't think so.
That's pretty much it for the group of 5, I think. And in terms of conference breakdowns, there's not really much to go over. I don't think we need to do a deep dive into any of those. Like, we were pretty much talking about that. So we're going to actually scratch our 12-team mock-up with our bold predictions. I think doing those together is the better option. Plus, without Dylan here, it kind of feels out of place. So we'll make sure that he's available for that, and we'll get that to you guys later on this week for our second episode. We'll just skip ahead and pretty much do the preseason AP poll that was just released like less than an hour ago, I think is what it was. It's like as soon as we hit record, it was like, boom. I had like the on3 notification come up. So if you haven't seen it already, I'll pretty much just go 1 through 25, and then we're going to pretty much just discuss and do our reactions based off of that. So at 1, they have Texas. 2 is Penn State. 3 is Ohio State. 4, Clemson. Georgia 5. Notre Dame 6. Oregon 7. Alabama 9. LSU 10. And Miami, or LSU 9 and Miami 10. Right off the bat in the top 10. There's already some teams that I'm feeling that are way too high, and there's teams that is way too low.
Yep. Well, do you just want to go top 10 right now?
Yeah, we'll just basically list like top 10 and then pretty much just kind of go from there. I think listing all 25 is just nuts. So
yeah.
I think they missed the chance of doing the first 1 versus 2 season opener. I think Ohio State, being the defending national championship, I feel like they kind of deserve being 2 at the very least. Penn State's obviously very good this year, or very projected to be very good, I should say. I think Oregon is too high at 7. I think Bama is way too low at 8. LSU at 9 feels pretty right, but Miami at 10 feels a little bit too high for my liking personally. But I feel like where else are you going to put them, or who else are you going to put there? You know what I mean? So,
yeah, I 100% agree. I think I can't believe Ohio State's not 2. Especially, was it the coaches poll? Ohio State was 2.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised the AP poll is put. I mean, like, we're splitting hairs here, but I think when you were the champion last year, I think you deserve the right to be top 2 until you're not top 2.
Yeah.
So I definitely agree with you there. I would swap Georgia and Alabama personally. I think Bama should be 5 and Georgia should be 8.
I agree.
Especially with what's coming back and what were the questions that we've had, especially on our preview pod. What was that, last week? I have more questions about Georgia than Alabama, and if obviously this doesn't put too much into last year, so I'm a little confused why Georgia's at 5. Agree with you. I think Oregon's too high. I don't see this team as a top 10 team this year, so them being 7, little too high for me. And then LSU at 9 is right, and I agree. I think that's just kind of where you have to put Miami right now. I think 10's just the sweet spot for anywhere. Them, it feels like.
Yeah. It's hard to put them any lower than that, because I'm not going to put Arizona State in the top 10. I'm not going to put South Carolina. I'm not going to put Michigan. I'm not going to put Illinois.
No.
Whoever else they have. Like, you know what I mean? There's just there's no other spot. I wouldn't put Oregon that low. I would probably put them at 9 and maybe put LSU at 7. I think Notre Dame at 6 is a pretty good spot, even though they beat 2 and 5 last year. But I mean, like, again, I'm not going to put them crazy high just because they're a runner up.
And the hardest thing with the AP poll is I don't know if we're doing it off of what happened last year, or if this is a projection of this year.
Right. Like, that's hard. It's always hard to gauge.
It's like they mash them together, and we have no idea other than here's your 25 teams. Good luck. It's like so I know we haven't gotten to them, but like, you go look at who's one of the teams. So Missouri, and spoiler alert, Missouri is not in the top 25, but they were a 9-3 team last year.
Snub.
So
for sure.
What are we like? Why are we not putting them in the top 25? Because I think they should be in the top 25 over some of these teams. And so now, like, if they lose a couple games, they may not even crack the top 25, and they may go 9-3. And I think that's crazy. Like, Navy pool's so weird.
It's hard to say. Yeah, it's just hard to gauge in terms of preseason. It's a preseason poll for a reason, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like I'm not going to make a judgment, but 11 through 25 is very much so.
Here, I'll ask you a question.
I'll ask you a question real quick. A little bit better. Basically, to pretty much break it down, I guess, which is just insane to me as is. There's 4 SEC teams, 3 Big Ten, 2 ACC. Independents, obviously, is Notre Dame having the only one there.
Yeah.
But the Big 12 only having 2 or 3.
Oh, in the top, 20? Or top?
Or no, yeah, it's top. There's only 1 in the top
15.
Yeah. I think Kansas State being left out of the top 15 is kind of a mistake.
It's interesting.
I guess, yeah, okay, we can just do 11 through 20 then. So,
well, I got a question before you do that.
Go for it.
Okay. If you had to pick one team out of the top 10 that is not in the AP poll at the end of the year, who is it?
That is not there.
Yep. One of the top 10 teams, because I think this has happened the past couple years.
That is not in the top 10.
No, that is in the top 10 right now of this AP poll. Which one does not finish in the top 25?
If you want a hot take or the easy guess, I mean, I'm going to either say Miami or Georgia. Honestly, that's like the 2 most likelies. I just feel like LSU. The LSU's got a really good chance of finishing 20 or lower. Honestly.
Yes.
But I don't think that's enough to necessarily kick them out because they have a really hard schedule. So it's hard to give them the benefit of the doubt, even though their schedule is already as tough as it is. But
agreed.
Already have Georgia to miss the playoff. I don't think that they're going to be great, but Miami's been Miami. I don't necessarily think it's a crazy reach to see them out of there.
So you're going to think I'm crazy. And honestly, I might be crazy. What if it's Clemson?
Who are their losses to then? Georgia Tech,
South Carolina, LSU.
Oh.
And let's say Louisville.
Tough road game.
Like, is it possible for them to go 8-4?
Yeah.
Like, if looking at these 10 teams, I think the 3 most likely to go 8-4 is LSU, Miami, and Clemson.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, I think Georgia. I just think Georgia's schedule makes it where like 9-3 is almost automatic, so they're not gonna be out of the top 25.
They would have to be bad.
And the same thing with Oregon, because I'm down on Oregon this year, but I think their schedule sets up where like 9-3 is the worst they could do.
Yeah.
In all honesty, like
hardest game being Penn State on the road. That's
yeah. Like you have Penn State on the road, you get Washington on the road, I think, and then you have Indiana, USC
somewhere in there.
Yeah. Like there are games in there that they could lose, but it's hard for me. I'm not predicting that. I feel like the volatility of the ACC, because it's normally ACC teams that do this. Florida State. Clemson 2 years ago.
Historically, yes. Absolutely.
So I feel like those 2 teams are like, and I know everyone's sky high on Clemson, but I do think it's possible with the schedule.
If anything, that should raise a red flag as it is.
Yeah.
It's never a good sign when so many people are on this team to even go 16-0. Because I mean, like literally everybody is quite literally saying that right now. Which
16-0. No.
There's been a lot of dude. Are you
really?
Did Dabo say it in media days or media or something like that?
I didn't see that.
Someone said it on Twitter, and then all of a sudden it was just. Yeah, it's unbelievable. They said that Clemson would be the most likely first 16-0 team. Yeah.
No way.
That's what I'm saying.
Dude, they could lose week 1.
That's what I said. Quite frankly, I have that.
I do. I'm leaning towards it. Interesting. All right, 11 through 20.
Yeah, not a fan. Arizona State's at 11. Illinois is at 12. South Carolina at 13. Michigan at 14. Florida at 15. SMU is at 16. Kansas State 17. Oklahoma at 18. A&M at 19 and Indiana at 20.
Yeah, I got a lot of problems with this.
This is
11
bad.
through 20.
This is bad. Mainly, it's 11 through 14 that I have a serious problem with, honestly. And then slight mix-up on this second half.
I have no problem with Arizona State being 11.
No, that's not my issue, actually. It's mainly...
It's 12 through 14 I have issues with.
Yeah.
Illinois should not be 12. I understand that they won 10 games last year, but we've got to understand that, like, they were an 8-win team last year and just won 10 games. Like,
right.
I don't think they're number 12. I don't think South Carolina's 13. South Carolina's the one out of these 25. They're the one team I'll take that wouldn't make a bowl game out of the top 25. So them being top 15 is crazy. I personally have no problem with Michigan. I mean, I think it's based solely on potential, which is what we're doing. Like,
I would just flip flop. I wouldn't flip flop, but I would definitely put Michigan in Illinois spot if I had to. And Florida's got to be higher than South Carolina. There's absolutely zero way.
Yeah,
there's 0 chance.
I like SMU at 16. I think Kansas State should be higher. What drugs are we doing where Texas A&M is lower than Oklahoma?
I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
How are we doing that?
I couldn't tell you.
And no offense to Oklahoma fans, but I mean, I think they'd even tell you that A&M should be higher than them.
I don't know what they've done to prove that to them, honestly.
Like, I understand that the defense is going to be awesome and the QB transfer, OC, running back, Jay Knott, like, I get that. A&M won 8 games last year.
I mean, there's a world where... Sorry, good.
No, go.
There's that... I would say that you could put 4 of the remaining... What is that, like 6? Yeah, like 4 of the remaining 6 to 7 teams in front of Oklahoma there.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, I think A&M should be... I'd argue Indiana should be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ole Miss is a debate. Iowa State's maybe a debate. Tennessee's not really a debate, I don't think, considering what they did to them.
My thing with the Tennessee-Oklahoma debate is I think they should be right next to each other.
That just doesn't make any sense to me. Why they're so far apart right there? Yeah.
Like, I think... Because I think when I did mine, I had them 19-20.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think
we both did. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I think that's where Oklahoma and Tennessee should be, is right there. Right. Which I'm fine with Tennessee being 24. Like, with all the questions and everything, I think it makes sense. Like, absolutely. 21 is Ole Miss, 22 Iowa State, 23 Texas Tech, 24 Tennessee, 25 Boise.
Okay. The only issue, I like the list. I think it's actually, obviously I wish that some of these teams were higher than what they are, but in terms of order, it's not really the worst in the world. But
I think the order's fine.
My two concerns is the people who are left out. Boise being at 25, I think is kind of dumb, in my opinion. We're as much as I kind of hate to say it, but they kind of deserve to be in there. I don't know where USC is in this conversation.
USC's 30th.
That's just not really that. I don't know. No, I don't agree with that one. Is there a world where, honestly, like, I mean, people have been in a freaking rat's behind in a rat's nest ever since this poll got released, but
I mean, I don't hate the top, like, I think the top 24 is right. I think the order could be changed, but I think the 24 teams are fine.
Right.
Like, I would say 25 should be probably USC or Baylor or Louisville. One of those 3. Potentially Georgia Tech, potentially Missouri.
I don't really think... I would put Illinois that much higher than Indiana. If anything, I would kind of put them right next to each other, but Indiana being the higher spot.
Them being 8 difference is crazy.
Yeah, I just kind of put 2 and 2 together with that one too. But I think Baylor could have been ranked. TCU, you could have argued that might have been ranked.
Dude, they hate TCU. TCU's like 42nd.
That's ridiculous.
Also, shout out whoever voted ULL. Let's go. Louisiana Lafayette receiving a vote.
So, in terms of receiving votes, I guess we could kind of do that too, because I don't know if, I think I have mine pulled up here. I don't know what yours.
I have mine, yeah.
Okay. BYU led. Utah was right behind them. Baylor's not very far behind, as much as I thought they were going to. Louisville, USC, Georgia Tech was higher than Missouri. Yeah, I don't know about that one either. Tulane, Nebraska, UNLV's up there. Toledo, Auburn, James Madison, I know. Memphis, meh. Florida State, meh.
Florida State being above Duke. Just interesting.
Liberty, Navy, Iowa, TCU, Pitt, Army, and Colorado, and then UOL. Oh, God.
Yeah, so post week 1.
Yeah.
If we go post week 1, so probably the next, I guess they'll release one before week 1 since we do week 0. But if you go post week 1, teams that could lose in the top 25, you have Boise on the road at USF, which is a possible, I mean, that's a tougher game. I think the point spread's 7. Iowa State and Kansas State. And then A&M plays UTSA week 1, right?
I believe so. Yes. Hosts, obviously. But yeah.
So, like, I think the only team you could potentially see drop out of the top 25 after week 1's Iowa State. And that's if they were to lose week 0. So this is going to be the same. This will almost be the same exact list post week 1, unless there's a gigantic upset that we don't see coming. Like, so that's it. That's also interesting too. Is that a lot of these top 25 teams are playing either scrubs or they're playing other top 5 opponents. Like looking at obviously Texas, Ohio State, Clemson, LSU, Notre Dame, Miami. Then the rest of them don't really play anybody. South Carolina plays like Virginia Tech. So that's interesting that we probably won't get movement until week 2. Much at least.
Right. Okay, in terms of like matchups early on, I know Kansas State and Iowa State, 17 and 22, we get that. In Ireland, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
We get Miami, Notre Dame. That's going to be a pivotal one. But the thing that kind of caught my eye is like 3 of the top 10 have a returning starter at quarterback. Yet, like there's 4 or 5 teams in here that have pretty much potential first-round picks, being Arch, Aller, Klubnik, Nuss, Sellers. Kind of catches my eye as well. Stuff like that. A lot of people don't think Tennessee should be in there.
I mean, that's fair. Actually, no, it's not. The fact that a playoff team wouldn't be top 25 is crazy. Now, could they go 6-6 or 7-5? Yeah. Then I would say they should not be in the top 25. But they were a playoff team. Another thing, every playoff team is ranked.
True.
Every team that made the playoff last year is ranked.
True.
Because I think that's why Boise's 25.
I get it.
So,
I don't know, man.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be interesting, yeah, like you were saying with the quarterbacks. I mean, if you're really talking about it, you have Arch, new starter, Sayin, new starter, Stockton, new starter, Carr, new starter, Dante Moore, new starter, Ty Simpson, new starter, Carson Beck, new starter. So seven of the top 10 have new QBs. But then once you get past top 10 and you look at the rest, Arizona State at 11, same starters last year. Illinois, same starter. South Carolina, same starter. Michigan, no. Florida, yes. SMU, yes. Kansas State, yes. Oklahoma, no. A&M, yes. Indiana, no. Ole Miss, no. Iowa State, yes. Texas Tech, yes. Tennessee, no. Boise, yes. So it, like, yeah, the top 10 doesn't have the starters back, but it looks like the middle of this, like the middle and the end of the top 25 has starters, which is why I think we could see a surprise team. You look at like Florida, Oklahoma, SMU, Kansas State. Like I feel like one of the A&M, like one of these teams, I think can jump into the top 12 because of the returning starter.
Absolutely. One of the things that I kind of look at is I compare it to last year, which I just pulled that up, just to kind of gauge in terms of like who actually stays in versus who is out by the end of the year. Yeah. Georgia last year, Georgia was 1, Ohio State was at 2, Oregon at 3, Texas 4, Bama 5, Ole Miss was at 6, Notre Dame was at 7, Penn State was at 8, Michigan 9, Florida State 10. There's your 1. Missouri was 11. I don't know if they finished top 25, did they?
If they did, it was really close. I think they did. I think they were 21.
20. I think they were 21. Say it would have been like 20 to 25 if they did. Utah was 12. LSU was at 13. Clemson 14. Tennessee 15. Oklahoma 16. I think they finished. Definitely not. Oklahoma State definitely not. They were at 17. Kansas State was 18. Miami was 19. A&M at 20. Arizona definitely did not. They're at 21. Kansas was 22. They did not. USC was at 23. I think they did.
No, they didn't.
They did not.
7-5.
That's right. They lost to us. North Carolina State, NC State was at 24. They were definitely out. Iowa was also out, and they were 25. So
that was 10.
The amount of teams that were out by the end of the year is just.
That's probably wrong. I probably totally miscounted that. But anyways.
Whatever. This poll means nothing, to summarize.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
It's just...
This poll is literally just to talk about and ramble on because we're a week away from college football and it gives us something.
Yeah, pretty much. Which is fine. At the end of the day, but...
Yeah. At the end of the day, this poll doesn't matter, and it hasn't mattered for, 27 years? Or whatever, since they started doing the BCS and all that. Like, this poll doesn't matter. It's the playoff poll that matters. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it's cool, and it helps history and whatever, since they've been doing the poll for almost 100 years, but...
Right.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way you can read that much into this. Like, I mean, you look at some of... Like, you look at South Carolina, Florida... And South Carolina and Florida and Oklahoma. So 3 teams in the top 18 all have over-under win totals of 7.5. And I think Oklahoma's actually 6.5.
Yeah.
So, like, those are 3 top 18 teams that could go 7-5. That are not touching the top 25.
Right.
Like, at the end of the day, you're going to have one of these teams in receiving votes that's going to bump up in here.
Absolutely. It is kind of mind-blowing how they didn't throw a USC or a Baylor, or even like a Georgia Tech, UNLV, Louisville. There's so many in there that like I would probably put in above, honestly, and ones that'll probably be in there by week 8 through 10. I'd say. I think there's a really good chance that you see a lot of those kind of in there.
Oh, I mean, you're gonna see like. If Florida starts out the year 3-3 with this schedule, they'll be off. Michigan, if they were to lose 2 early games, they'll be off. South Carolina, Illinois. Some of these teams that kind of start off with these tougher games to start the year, you'll either see them rise super high or they're going to fall. Like, I think there's a possibility of, like, one of these SEC teams that just has a brutal schedule, or like one of the top ones, and they just like disappear into like the 30s and then just appear again in like week 10.
Right.
But like, once again, like this poll doesn't matter to anybody.
No.
Your record at the end of the year does not matter. It has nothing to like your record is not what it says you are. We all know Florida is a better team. That's why I have no problem with Florida being 15 or I have no problem with Michigan being 14. Because their potential
expect them to be better than that, honestly.
Their potential's better and like they're playing tougher schedules. Like I would rank Florida ahead of SMU and Kansas State because I would pick Florida to beat those teams.
Right. It's just funny. It is funny to me. I just saw LSU, Oklahoma, Florida, and Mississippi State all play more top 25 teams on their schedule, which is 7, more than Penn State, Indiana combined, which combined is 6. I just think it's another reason why everybody laughed at the Big Ten when they tried to flex about how tough they are.
Sure.
Of their 9-game conference schedule that they have. It is kind of hypocritical in a way that I'm not really agreeing with, but
sure. I mean, I get the argument for both because they are playing an extra conference game, which is tougher than the SEC playing Mercer.
Right.
Like,
I get it.
It is tougher. I understand it. And sure, the SEC is tougher, but I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like Nebraska's there. Iowa's there. Washington should be up there, and they're not. Like, there's still good teams. USC's up there. Like, there's good teams in this conference.
Right.
Like, and once again, I don't care what the AP poll ranks them at. That doesn't matter to me. Like, I'd rather power ratings are what matter. What we see on the field matters.
Absolutely. Yeah, I don't know. It's just mind-blowing of past 21 preseason polls. Number 1 AP ranked team, 19 have failed to win a national championship, and the last to do so was Alabama in 2017. So
Texas is not winning the championship. Got it.
Pretty much according to trends, I would put the bet in yes. In 19 of the last 21 years, the national champion was ranked among the AP preseason top 7, exceptions being Florida State in 2013 and Auburn in 2010.
Which were just crazy years that year. Those 2 years were insane.
Right. So, I mean, technically
Hicks.
speaking, if you're looking in terms of that, it's either going to be Texas, unless if it somehow gets caught by that number 1 ranked jinx, Penn State, Ohio State, Clemson, Georgia, Notre Dame, or Oregon. Historically speaking, just based off of trends.
Yeah, what's the Oh no, that's the basketball one. That's like the top 12 by X week or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
That's the basketball one.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a football one in there too.
Has to be. It's got to be out there somewhere. I'm looking through the notes right now of just like all these kind of articles after releasing. But yeah, I mean, just to kind of piggyback again, sorry, go ahead. You're good.
I do think the winner of college football this year is in the top 10.
Yeah, without a doubt.
I don't think 11 or beyond is winning.
Yeah, that's not crazy at all. It's just a big gap. The talent gap is just too much. Like,
yeah,
I just can't.
Like once I like 9, like LSU, and then there's just a drop off, kind of.
Okay, so if I mean, not like I'm not disagreeing. Obviously, I am agreeing. But if you did have to pick, like, gun to your head, if there is a national champion within 11 through 25 that is there, or even outside, who is your option? Like, is it Florida?
No, schedule's too hard. I'll pick 2. I'll go Arizona State or A&M.
Okay.
I think A&M.
I like A&M better than Florida. I like A&M better than Florida.
I think A&M can make the playoff.
Oh yeah. I think they should.
I do too. The question is, can they beat a team that's
right
than them? Like, they're 8-4. They're Mr. 8-4 for a reason. But yeah, I mean, I would say that I'm hard pressed to. I mean, look, we don't know. Like, I do think this could be one of the most open years that we have. Like,
Right.
this could be a 07, 10, 13 kind of year.
Yep.
Especially with the quarterbacks returning. Because even, like, looking at the top 10 with the quarterbacks returning, like, Drew Aller, who is good, but, like, we haven't seen what he was supposed... We haven't seen number one recruit Drew Aller yet. And we may never see it. Cade Klubnik hasn't beaten an SEC team other than South Carolina in his career.
Nope.
They haven't won a ton of big games. So, interesting there. And then Garrett Nussmeier, who was good last year, but they didn't win any big games.
Right.
Lost to opener, lost to Bama, lost to A&M?
It was Ole Miss.
Ole Miss. So, looking at, like, quarterbacks and, like, this year's wide open. There's going to be a quarterback in week 4 or 5 that, you know, we haven't really talked about, and he's going to blow up. Like, you're looking at Ty Simpson, Gunnar Stockton in that week 5 Bama-Georgia game. Or
his name is Joey Aguilar.
Alrighty. I am not going that far. Especially after what I heard from the scrimmage. I'm not going that far. But I mean, like, if DJ Lagway's healthy all year, why not?
Threat. Yeah, immediate threat.
If Kevin Jennings is healthy and good, you know, if Mateer's healthy and good, I mean, give me Mendoza for 12 games and is healthy. Like, Indiana could go 10-2 again. It's not crazy.
No, not at all.
Yeah, I mean, this is the point. Like, I think there are 30 teams, 30 to 35 teams right now that I could see making the playoff, and that I would not be shocked with. I think that's a true and fair statement until we see injuries and play on the field. I mean, it's wide open. We can talk about it all we want. We can discuss it all we want, but I mean, we have no idea.
Right. I agree. We'll go a couple more notes and then we'll hop out of here, but to continue on with, like, terms of, like, trends and historical stuff like that. It says in last year's poll, 13 of the top 25 finished the season unranked. And then in the CFP era since 2014, on average, 11 teams a year ranked in the poll will, like, finish unranked. So definitely expect this to be shaken up. Is one of the things I could say. Yeah, right, exactly. And then 29 of the last 31 years, except 2011 and 2020. At least one team that started the season unranked finishes in the top 10 on the final AP poll. Last year, you had 3. That was Arizona State, Boise State, and Indiana.
Boise doesn't count.
I guess.
I mean, it does. Okay. Who is it this year?
Honestly?
I've got 2.
Okay.
I've got 2 I like. Baylor's
ACC?
one of them. One's Baylor.
Okay.
Just because I have them to win the Big 12, so I think
Okay.
they could finish top 10. So Baylor's 1. I think...
I have to say Georgia Tech.
Where'd they go? I think Georgia Tech's possible. I think Iowa is possible. Do you see him throw that 5-yard out?
We're so back. We're so back.
Did you see Stuckey's tweet of the punter?
No.
The dude was, like, punting from his own 15 to the other 15. Stuckey's like, we're so back. I like Iowa. I think USC is a possibility.
Yeah, USC's another one.
Other than that, Utah maybe. I don't know if we could get to top 10 there.
Right.
I think that's more of a 15. BYU, no. Louisville, no, I don't think so.
No.
Missouri, I don't think so. Tulane, no way. The only way Tulane would do it is if they went undefeated. Nebraska,
I don't know. I just think there's a lot more disappointments this year, I think, than there are surprises. I guess that will be my take on the poll.
Disappointment leads to surprises.
That's I guess so.
Yeah, you're saying.
But mainly, I mean, your main disappointments, I think, are going to be your top teams, though. Like 1 through 15, speaking, in terms of disappointment. Like, I don't really think.
Yeah, I think this is a year where going undefeated is probably unlikely for these teams. Like, I don't think we see Oregon from last year, or who else? Did anyone else go undefeated last year? Or was it just Oregon? I think it was just Oregon and Boise. Yeah. Or not Boise. Boise lost, but like they went 11-1. Like I have a hard time seeing a team not losing 2 games this year.
I mean, the most likely to go undefeated, it feels like every year, is Notre Dame. And even then, I think that they drop one of their first 2. I mean, like even then, they might drop the USC game.
Yeah,
like they have 3 50-50s there.
Like Penn State, probably the most likely, just because they play Ohio State only, pretty much, and Oregon, but Oregon's at home.
Then again, it is at the shoe, which makes it a big difference in my opinion. But I'm not counting it out. I mean, they were up. What was the one year where Saquon Barkley returned the opening kick, and they were up 21-7, 21-3?
What was it? Yeah, 2017.
Something like that. JT Barrett came back and shredded the defense in the second half. Yeah. It's very possible. Like, they can get on to a lead and they can hold it on a team like that very easily. I mean, I'm not saying it'll happen. I'm just hypotheticals, obviously.
Yeah. I feel like this has to be the year for them.
As much as I hate and just don't like James Franklin, I mean, yeah. If it's not, then they're not going to fire him. But I mean, it's just like, it's nuts. It blows my mind that just year in, year out, it's just such a letdown. And it's so consistent.
Yeah.
But if they're happy with it, whatever, I guess who cares? At least your stadium's cool.
True. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, this will not be a segment weekly, by the way, guys. We are not doing this weekly. I could care less what the AP poll says. Yeah,
I'm not, no, there's no point. There's absolutely 0 point. Yeah. Unless if there's just something absolutely outrageous, then it might be worthy enough to talk about. I don't know. But until that time comes, it's not happening.
No. I'll pass.
Other than that, though, that is the preseason top 25, and that is all that we have for today. So, later on this week, expect our 12-team mock-up with some bold predictions on the side of that. I think we did Group of 5 futures today, but I think the next episode we can do our Group of 5, or not Group of 5, our full future sweep in terms of Power 4, because I added a lot of Power 4 outside of the Group of 5. I think we can add that on next week as well, just to kind of fill in some empty space. So hopefully we'll have Dylan there, and then we'll get that knocked out. And then next week is officially game week. Game week. We're going to be previewing, just because there's only like 5 or 6, whatever it is, we'll just probably end up previewing every week 0 game. Just because. Even though we're not betting it, it'll probably just be like a rapid fire thing where blah, 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 what do you got? Blah, 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 I have this. That's it. Leave it at that. It doesn't even matter if you have a side net or not. Doesn't really matter. Doesn't matter. So, yeah, that's that. I'm really excited for the season to start and see this thing take off. It's been a fun 4 weeks, 4.5, 5 of doing preseason episodes.
4?
I think so. It's crazy. And yeah, the numbers are consistent, and I'm obviously expecting more when the season starts. So a lot to look forward to. Super exciting time. Can't wait to get started. So
yeah, Appreciate
will
it.
see you guys later on this week for that. And yeah, get after it.